If most businessmen had to guarantee what came out of their mouths or the product that they sold, they would be broke in a New York minute. Michael McLean, NoBoBook.com. I want to share with you today something that can simply and easily 2x, 5x, even 10x your sales of any product that you offer. It's something that I've used in business over the last 31 years. I used it in my window washing company when I was in high school. I used it in the insurance business when everybody said you can't do that in the insurance business. I've used it selling books, newsletters, masterminds. I've used it in the hockey business, selling tickets to games, corporate sponsorships. Even my 10-year-old daughter, Emery, has used it selling her dog walking service here in Naples. She walks dogs for in the neighborhood, and she's done flyers, and she uses it. And it even works in a tiny boots on the ground business like that. So if you're interested in 2xing your results, even 5xing, and I've seen it even as high as 10xing your bottom line profits, then today's video is exactly your cup of whiskey. So when I started my window washing company when I was in high school, I remember my dad saying to me, he said, you know, before I headed out to pitch all the retail stores on the two main streets in our community, that's what my window washing business was. 12 months a year, 1 day a week, I would go around with a squeegee and a pail of water and vinegar, and I would wash the windows of all the small businesses and even some of the big businesses in our community. And I would make over $1,000 cash every single week. And one of the things that my dad, I remember saying before I headed out the first day, he said, make sure that you guarantee your service. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, well, I'm washing windows, you know, restaurants and retail stores and you know, clothing stores and sporting goods shops. Why do I have to guarantee, you know, my window washing? He said, well, he said, you're going to automatically increase your sales. So he said, when you're pitching these people for the first time, when you're walking in the door, they don't really know you. They don't trust you. And he said, everybody is skeptical. Everybody is skeptical. So this is going back 40 years ago when he said everybody's skeptical. So when I'd walk into the door of the business, I would say to them, I had the same script that I had memorized, and I would call them by their first name, and I would ask them if they would like me to make their business sparkle, their windows sparkle, their doors sparkle. And then I would hit them with the upsell, doing the inside windows for half price of the outside. So if I was doing the outside for $10, I would give them the Colombo upsell close. When I'm walking out, I'd say, oh, by the way, I can do the inside. Instead of $10, I can do it for $5. So I would get a $15 per week client instead of just 10. So I always hit them with the Colombo upsell as well. Nice little 50% bump. But one of the things that closed at least 25% more of these customers the first time I approached them, I'm going in cold, right? These people, you know, they want their windows washed, but they don't know me yet. They don't know whether I do a good job. I would always say to them, I'd say, listen, there's zero risk because I guarantee your satisfaction. And I would look the business owner in the eye and I would say, listen, I will clean your windows until you are 200% satisfied. I always use that term, 200%. It seemed to have more impact. You know, we're used to 100%, 200% was a pattern interrupt. I will clean your windows until you are 200% satisfied. And if I cannot satisfy you for any reason whatsoever, then you pay nothing. Then you pay zero. The job is free. And no bad feelings either. I guarantee my work. You're 200% satisfied, or you don't pay a single dollar. And you know, other entrepreneurs, they love that. I call these brass balls guarantees. And brass balls makes you magnetic. That's a huge pro tip that I'm giving you this morning, is having guts and courage and believing in yourself and believing in what you sell. If you can't guarantee, like my father said, if you can't guarantee what you sell, look somebody straight in the eye and say, listen, you're going to be 100% satisfied with this product or this service, then he always says, go sell something different. So first and foremost, it's critical that you sell something, a service or a product that you truly believe in. And then you're able to use what I call the brass balls guarantees, where you separate yourself from everybody else. And entrepreneurs and businessmen love that. You know as well as I do, if somebody walked into your business, your company today, some young person said, listen, I'm going to do this for your business, but I'm also going to guarantee my performance. If for any reason whatsoever you are not ecstatic, if you are not over the moon happy, then you do not pay a single dime. Well, you know what? Their chances of closing you are a lot greater, because you and I are the same. We respect courage. We respect people that have ambition. We respect that entrepreneurial guts. And I call it brass balls warranties. So I was successful closing a lot more deals when I was in high school with the window washing business. So it was just a natural transition when I went ahead into other businesses. And one of the big ones was the hockey business. When I bought my first junior A team, I owned 2 hockey franchises in my career, both of them junior franchises. The student athletes are age 17 to 21. You know, you're trying to fill an arena every week or twice a week, trying to get 1,000 people to attend your game, that kind of stuff. So I remember selling season tickets. I bought this bankrupt hockey team, the Smith Falls Bears. And like Warren Buffett said, when you buy things, buy them on the emergency operating table, when they're taking their last breath. In other words, buy low. Well, I couldn't have bought this hockey team any lower. They had no season tickets. They had no corporate partners or sponsorships. They had no attendance. They were like irrelevant in the community in terms of serving or the fan base. And it was a losing team on the ice and off the ice. So outhouse to the penthouse was the goal. Well, one of the things that I did, I ran full page ads in the local newspapers. And this is 25 years ago, right? So I would barter these deals and I'd say, listen, I will give you ads on the ice. I'll give you an ad on the arena board where people can see it. I'll give you a couple season tickets. I'd go to the newspaper and I said, if you'll give me 5 full page ads. And these were expensive ads even in those days, you know, like they're thousands of dollars, but I didn't want to spend a penny. So I would go and pitch the owner of the newspaper. I'd say, listen, if you give me exposure in your paper, if I can run these full page ads, then I'll do the same for you. I'll give you exposure all through the arena. And it worked like an absolute charm. And I would run these full page ads in the summer selling season tickets. By the way, in sports, season tickets are your backbone. They're your absolute backbone. I don't care if you're in pro or amateur. You know, your season tickets are your continuity. They're your cash flow every month. And you don't have a business if you don't have continuity, and you don't have a business if you don't have monthly cash flow. Well, season tickets in the hockey business, in the sports business, are your cash flow. I had people here that would be paying every month for their season tickets. So you have that monthly income and cash flow. But here's the thing, I was selling people that had never bought a season ticket in their life. How the hell was I gonna do it? Well, I did it by two ways. Incredible premiums. In other words, premiums are free gifts. I made such an irresistible offer when I bought the team, and these full page ads sold it. I gave away so many premiums that they literally couldn't resist buying the season ticket. It wasn't about the season ticket. It wasn't about the team. It was about, man, I need that jersey. I need that t-shirt. I need that hat. I need that pen. I need that mouse pad. I need that mini hockey stick. And that's how I went. That's how I 30x'd our season tickets. I literally went, they had something like 72 season ticket holders. In other words, when I bought the team, mums, dads, aunts, uncles, maybe grandma and grandpa. And I built that base up to 340 in the 2 months over the summer after I bought the team. So I took it from 72 season tickets to around 340. And I did it with these full page ads that had these gifts, right? But here's the thing about it. That wouldn't have done the job because people were skeptical. They didn't know who I was as the new owner. The team had a bad reputation off the ice. They had a bad reputation in the community. So what was I gonna do to turn skeptics into believers? I mean, these people were skeptical, right? I'm not gonna give my money to somebody I don't know and a team with a bad reputation. So what did I do? I came up with the most incredible brass balls guarantee. It couldn't be just a guarantee. It had to be a brass balls guarantee. So I sat down, and when I was writing these ads, I said, okay, how can I eliminate absolutely every shred of doubt? How can I give these people 100% confidence in giving me their money? So in that case, what I did is I did a money back guarantee test drive, which I've used many times in different businesses, where I said, okay, you get all these free gifts with your season ticket, and I'm gonna give you a 3-game test drive, a 3-game test drive. So they would have cut, the person who bought the season ticket could come to 3 games. That was it, 3 games. They could be exhibition games, they could be whenever they wanted. And after 3 games, if they were dissatisfied for any reason, if they were unhappy for any reason, they could simply send me an email. They could come up to the office. They could call my assistant, and they could say, I want my 100% money back. And we would refund every penny of their season ticket purchase. Every penny, no explanation, no worries, no hassles, and this is a big and, they could keep all the premiums, all the free gifts. They could keep the jersey, the t-shirts, the hats, the foam #1 finger. They could keep all of those as a thank you for giving us. So I used a 3-game test drive, 100% money back guarantee. What was that? Brass balls. It made people say, you know what, this guy's insane. This is an irresistible offer. They could not take it. It became the talk of the town, these massive full page ads. But for most people who are very, very skeptical, they said, okay, I'm not doing this. But all of a sudden they would read the warranty, the guarantee. And that guarantee, I'm convinced, and I do not have the data back in those days to, good morning, to back it up. But I'll tell you this, when you go from 72 season ticket holders to 340 by direct mail, by direct response marketing, by people mailing you a check, by people dropping off a check at the rink, man, that guarantee was massive. And the reason it was massive is because it was brass balls. This guy's got guts. This guy believes in his product. This guy believes in his team. This guy believes in his franchise. and I took the risk off their shoulders. 100% of the risk came back to me, plus they got to keep the free gift premiums if things didn't work out. How many money backs did I have that year? One finger, one. I had one disgruntled girl come to me and attend 3 games, and it was because her son was on the team and he got cut in training camp and he didn't make the team. She thought he was going to make the team. She bought a season ticket. Her son, I cut her son's ass, and that was, so there you go. So the stronger the guarantee, the less refunds you have in most cases. How many refunds did I have in the window washing business? Never one. Zero in the thousands and thousands of dollars I did for 2 years with that company. I had a few guys that said, oh, you left some streaks here, or you need to clean around the outside of the door. And I'd gladly, I'm like 200% satisfaction. So I would fix it, they would pay me, and I'd walk out the door. Happy client, happy MJM. You want your customers to be 200% satisfied. You want to sell a product you believe in. You want to deliver on your promises. Like, this is the whole thing, integrity and character, because you're a man of character and integrity. Use that to your strength and separate yourself from all the people that lack integrity, lack character. You see all these late night infomercials back in the day, the great ones, the ShamWows, the Tony Robbins, all the greats, the George Foreman grill, all of those $1 million. I mean, the George Foreman grill was a $300 million late night TV business. George Foreman made more money selling grills than he did ever hitting people, boxing, hitting people in the face, punching people in the face. But man, oh man, those infomercials are a great thing to learn from. They have brass balls guarantees. If you're not happy with this ShamWow, if it's not the greatest chamois, if it's not the greatest water picker-upper, then you send it back and we'll double your money. If this grill isn't the greatest grill that you've ever had in your life, then you just send it back and we'll refund all your money, plus their warranties are brass balls. Their warranties are brass balls. So I applied it then in the stale, dull, and boring insurance business. So I get into the insurance business with my dad, and I'm starting to do marketing for the first time. I'm starting to do some marketing, and I'm like, I gotta have a warranty. I gotta have a guarantee. People hate insurance. They're so skeptical. Insurance companies have bad reputations. Just listening to people talk about, oh, my insurance guy was a crook and they didn't pay a claim. And it's just, I was selling for the first time a product that people really disliked. I mean, people love buying hockey tickets. I mean, people love getting their windows washed. That's not a big deal, but insurance was a tough one. That was a tough one. How could I separate myself from my competition? So I sat down and I came up with a guarantee. If a person came to me and with their home and car insurance, and I saved them some money, sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't, and they switched to me, I would always offer this. It had it on a certificate. I got it done on a nice piece of paper with a red certificate. I still have copies of it in my swipe file. And it was my 100% client satisfaction guarantee. And what it basically said is, first of all, I'm giving you a 30-day money-back guarantee on your policies. If for any reason you're not happy after a month, you can cancel your policy and you don't have to pay another nickel. All you have to do is pay the 30 days. Well, you know what? I found that loophole because that's the way most policies are written anyways. You can cancel your home insurance or your car insurance up to 30 days without penalty into the extension. In other words, if you want to cancel at 30 days, an insurance policy, all you pay is 30 days. After that, you get into the pro rata stuff where then you got to pay more than the time on risk and all this other stuff. So I found that incredible 30-day guarantee in our policies, and nobody knew about it, so I put it on a certificate. Secondly, your complete satisfaction, where that was just me as the broker, where I said, listen, you have a 12-month bumper to bumper satisfaction. If for any reason whatsoever you're not happy with our service or our whatever it is, then I will fix it as the owner. I will go above and beyond, and we will fix it. We will find a different company. I'll find a different CSR to represent you. I'll call the people about your claims myself, whatever it is. I gave them a bumper to bumper 12-month satisfaction. It wasn't money back. I couldn't do that by law, but I could give them my personal satisfaction that I would do everything under the sun to make sure that they were a satisfied client. So we did that, right? We did that. And it was so successful. I would do a quote. And then if a person didn't take the insurance, I would send what I call a shock and awe quote kit. And that's one of those big ass bubble envelopes with my book in it, my insurance book. It had the quote, it had $1 million bill. Thanks a million for the opportunity to become your insurance agent. Good morning. It was like there was pens in there, there was mouse pads, and a big bubble envelope that I would send, and they'd get this in the mail 2 or 3 days after I quoted their insurance. So if I didn't close them, I was a follow-up king. I just kept following up. I didn't just send an email. I sent this massive shock and awe kit, free pizza in it, the whole thing. They couldn't ignore me, right? They could not ignore me, and I followed up. That closed, by the way, 50% more. So we had a 70% closing ratio, which means 30% of people said didn't close. And then we chopped that down to 15% with these shock and awe kits. But what was in the shock and awe kit was this beautiful certificate that I had printed out on really nice paper. It was really official looking, and it was my 100% client satisfaction guarantee, 30 days and 12 months. Well, you know what? People don't trust insurance agents. They don't trust insurance companies. That baby 2x'd and 5x'd my sales. There's no question about it. When I was on TV, I guaranteed satisfaction. When I was on the radio selling insurance, I guaranteed satisfaction. Every flyer that I sent out, 130,000 flyers a month, every single one. Big block of 100% guarantee. Every postcard, 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Every quote kit had the big certificate in it. Up on the wall in the lobby was this, I blew it up into a massive 100% plain English, by the way. It wasn't like talking like some stuffy shirt lawyer. It was like, listen, if you're not happy, I'll fix it. If you're not happy, I'll fix it. And if you're not happy after 30 days, you get you can cancel at any time with no penalty. So this became such a big thing in our industry that my critics and my haters, in other words, my other insurance agents, they sent this to the regulatory board. Like, insurance is very regulated, right? You can't sneeze without somebody in a stuffed shirt being so offended. So I learned how to play that game better than anybody. So they sent this in. A couple of the guys got together, these weasels in our industry, Dick Schooley and a couple other losers, and they couldn't compete, right? So they somehow got a copy of this guarantee. Probably one of their former clients showed it to them when I was taking 30 policies a week from those guys. And he sent it to the governing board in Toronto, and he wrote a letter. You can't guarantee satisfaction. You can't guarantee 30 days. You can't provide a service guarantee. And here's the thing. That's how effective the warranty was. It was so effective that I got called up on the carpet at the insurance hearing in Toronto. My dad and I had to go. And what was it about? It was about this outrageous warranty guarantee that I was using in all my marketing, on TV, in the mail, whatever I was doing, in my newsletters. So it was interesting. This went on for half a day, and I had to stand up and speak about this warranty. So I stood up and spoke about the 30-day warranty. And then at the end, I said, that's word for word the law of 30-day cancellations of policies. That's nothing new. I'm just making that public. I'm just letting the customer know that they have the option to cancel after 30 days with no penalty beyond the 30 days. Yeah, all the heads nodded. That's true. That's absolutely true. And then I said the personal satisfaction warranty, that's on the broker side. I was a broker, not an agent. I said that's my service guarantee. In other words, they're going to be happy with my receptionist. They're going to be happy with my bookkeeper. They're going to be happy with me. They're going to be happy with their service. We're going to return phone calls within 2 hours. We're going to talk to them about their claim within 60 minutes. All these things that I invented. And I said, those are personal guarantees from Michael McLean, the owner of the business. And the heads nodded in there, and they're like, no problem with any of that. In fact, very, very clever strategy. To make a short story long, Dick Schooley walked out of there with tears in his eyes because he had taken the train 4 hours to see the hearing. And here I am walking out of there, and it was like Matt Damon slapping the piece of paper, the phone number up on the window and saying, do you like apples? I got her number. How do you like those apples? So I walked up, I slapped the piece of paper up on his forehead and said, do you like apples? And Dick Schooley would have mumbled, yeah, I like, he wouldn't even said anything. And I said, I got this warranty approved. How do you like them apples? I'm walking out of the room, this big conference room, right? All these regulatory boards have these big conferences, and then the guys go out for drinks after. It's just a big dog and pony show, right? These are lazy guys that just, I serve on the regulatory board. I'm like, whatever. You know, my dad, 45 years in the industry, never served on any of that horse shit. So I'm walking out, and the guy taps me on the shoulder. And it's one of the guys that's on the board, right? He's an insurance agent. And he says, Michael, I'm so impressed by your guarantee. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that. And he goes, would it be okay if I borrowed it, if I swiped it? And I'm like, well, don't swipe it. But I said, an idea is an idea, right? You can, if you can use it to help you, go ahead. And I said, personalize it and you're good. Here's a guy on the regulatory board who was, you know, trying to nail me to the cross 4 hours later. And all of a sudden we're pals heading down the elevator. And he's like, that's one of the most ingenious things that I've seen in the industry, and I want to use it in my own agency. I'm like, no shit, it's the most ingenious thing that you've seen in the industry. So he would have talked about that at his 7 martini dinner that night with his other tomato can regulators. But staying on task here, guarantees are monstrous. And I'll share one last story about guarantees and why you have to have them in everything you do. Every product you sell, every time you talk about your product or service, you need to talk about your guarantee. And admittedly, I've been lazy in this area. Like at this point in my career where I'm in a safe financial position and I coach for the love of the game, like money's important to me. It's the scoreboard. And, but to me, like I've been selling for the last 2 years with a no guarantee. Like I don't guarantee my book. I don't guarantee my newsletter. I don't guarantee my masterminds. And the reason I did that is it's my don't give a shit level. In other words, I've been down the road in all these businesses. I was in monk mode for 4 years, hanging out with my wife and daughter and coaching hockey. As I said, if I ever go back into business, I'm going to have a no warranty policy, a no guaranteed policy, because I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. And when you don't guarantee something, you get the best of the best, and that's reality. Like when you don't guarantee something like a $30,000 mastermind, you end up getting rid of all the pretenders, right? So you end up with Bill Gauze and Stephen Ivankos and Paul Nolte's and David Linton's. You know, that's because there's no warranty, right? You get rid of the people that are looking for a refund as well. But the bottom line is, and I admit, is it's a critical mistake in business. And it's one that I'm going to change. I'm going to pivot now that I've got this going. I've been dealing with the best of the best. I have the best book buyers because there's no warranty. Buy the book. If you don't want the book, if you need a pacifier or a soother to buy a $30 book, then I don't want you as my client. If you need a pacifier or a soother to buy a $3.24 paper newsletter per day newsletter, then I don't want you as my client. If you need a pacifier or a soother or somebody to hold your hand to go into a mastermind that's going to 5x your world, good morning, or the Champions Mastermind, then we're not a good fit. But the reality is warranties and guarantees, they 5x your results. So I got myself into it. I'm a bad example. I'm a bad example when it comes to guarantees. And I'm going to revert to my old ways, and I'm going to start guaranteeing my book. I'm going to start guaranteeing my newsletter. I'm going to start guaranteeing my masterminds. And I'm going to check what the data says, but I can tell you right now what the data will say. The data will say that I've been a fool, an arrogant fool over the last 2 years because I don't give a care about, you know, like I just want the best people. I want elite, generous, and driven men. So I'm going to put together a brass balls warranty, a guarantee like nobody else, and I'm going to see how it directly affects book sales, newsletter sales, mastermind sales. And I can guarantee you from my experience, it's going to make a massive difference, right? It's going to be the difference between 2x, maybe 3x, as high as 5x. I'll share one more story that I promised before I go here. The late, great Gary Halbert, considered one of the greatest copywriters of all time, certainly one of the most colorful men of all time in marketing and copywriting. And Halbert had what he called a 30-day, we won't cash your check warranty guarantee. And he would do this, whatever he was selling, he would say in the ad, he would say, buy the product and I won't charge your card or I won't cash your check for 30 full days. So you'll receive the product, you get 30 days, a full month to use it, to try it out, to test it. And after 30 full days, after a full month, okay, if you're not 100% satisfied with the product, then you can ask for your 100%. We will not charge your card and I will send your check back. And that's what Halbert said. It was so incredible because here's the thing. And I read this in his newsletter last year. He said it 5x sales. It 2x'd, and this is important, it 2x'd refunds. In other words, it doubled his refunds. So if he sold 1,000 products, let's say he sold 1,000 books, okay? By adding this, I won't cash your check for 30 days, you know, test it and try it, free 30-day test drive, he would sell 5,000 books instead of 1,000. He 5x'd his sales. The only downside, and it's not an ROI downside, it's just a paperwork downside, he 2x'd his refunds. So in other words, he would end up with 5,000 more sales, and he could end up with 2,000. He could end up with 2,000 refunds. So he said, you're 3x ahead was his point, at worst case scenario. So I'm just thinking when it comes to book sales, I have no refunds, right? Like I can count on one hand in a year and a half the number of books we've had to refund, like literally less than 3 or 4. But the thing is, I'm testing now a 30-day, won't charge your card, We won't charge your, we won't cash your check. We won't make you pay. Get the book, read the book. If it's not everything I say, then you can keep the book. You can keep the book and just tell Leanne, and boom, I'll rip up your check, or your credit card won't be charged. Well, Halbert says the data will prove that that'll sell 5 times more books. That'll sell, so instead of selling 1,000 books a month, that could bump us to 5,000. Now the test, we'll see in my ads whether that's true or not, but that's Halbert's 5X guarantee. He never sold a product without the, I'm not gonna cash your check for a month. You take it, you try it, test drive it, and then and only then, if you're happy, will I charge your card. And will you get more refunds? We'll get refunds for the first time. We'll get people after 30 days, even before 30 days, that say, cancel, don't charge my card, rip up my check, whatever it is. And big deal because you've increased your sales by 5X, 5 times. And you've only increased your refunds. Albert said the worst he ever saw was 2X, doubled his. So if he was getting 50 refunds, all of a sudden he had 100 refunds. If he was getting 100 refunds a month, he would get 200. But man, he was increasing his sales by 5X with that brass balls guarantee. So that's what I have for you today. If you want a 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X, even 10X your business, whatever product you're selling, if you believe in it, and you better believe in it, and you believe in yourself and your team, man, start talking about your guarantee and come up with a guarantee that's separation season. Whether it's 12 months, whether it's 36 months, whether it's do not pay for 30 days, I won't cash your check, I won't charge your credit card, maybe it's triple back, maybe it's double your money back. I've seen it all and done it all. I've done it all, but I'll tell you one last thing, pro tip before I go. The longer and stronger the guarantee, the longer and the stronger the guarantee, the fewer refunds I've ever received. So if I have a 30-day refund, I'll have refunds at 4 or 5% as an example. In the olden days, when I did guarantees, I would give a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, you get your money back anytime in the first 30 days. I would have 3-4%. If I do a 12-month, think about this, a 1-year guarantee, I would have 1 to 2%. And why is that? Well, why is that? It's because it's got more teeth, it's more ballsy, and people literally forget about it. Admittedly, they literally forget about it. At 30 days, they set a reminder, I'm gonna cancel this. I'm gonna cancel my Netflix. I'm gonna cancel my Disney Channel. I'm gonna watch this show. But now, when you do 12 months, when you do brass balls, the longer you guarantee something and the stronger the guarantee, the less refunds you get. And that's been our experience for sure. So be on the lookout for my new brass balls guarantees as I attack the market. And I turn skeptics into believers. I turn skeptics into part of this amazing brotherhood and movement that we're building here. Badass brotherhood. So and sit down and come up with a warranty, a brass balls guarantee for whatever it is you sell. It could be time, it could be money, it could be we'll return your call in 2 hours, it could be you'll be happy or you don't pay, whatever it is. And then you have to, and don't make the excuse they did in the insurance business, you can't guarantee. I found a way to guarantee their satisfaction. I found a way to warranty. I found a way. And it was one of the most invaluable things that I ever did because it separated me from the rest of the pack. So I brought out of the dust my black hat. It's my old 7 years of newsletters, and I'm selling it to this Friday and this Friday only. It's 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to pull it out. I'll pull it off the market for another year. It's that massive doorstop, and it's all my printed newsletters from my old consulting company. It was called Renegade Marketing, and it was called UMA, Ultimate Millionaire Agent. And it's all my best marketing. It's my $155 million of products and services. It's 7 years of physical newsletters. Leanne actually prints them off. 7 years of my physical newsletters. And I used to sell the product for $5,000, and then I sold it a year ago for $2,000. And I put it away. You couldn't buy it for the last 10 or 11 months. And I decided the other day to dust it off and bring it out for another week because it's so valuable. It's valuable for any business. I had chiropractic people, I had doctors, I had golf pros, I had coaches, consultants, I had restaurant owners, flooring company owners, car wash owners, I had contractors, I mean, it was everything under the sun. Small business owners, so it applies. But the stuff in those 7 years of newsletters, the marketing, sales, and the advertising and promotion, it's more valuable in 2023 than it was 7 years ago. It's more valuable today than ever. You know, my jewelry store promotions in there, my free pizza promotions in there, my phone scripts are in those newsletters, my hiring systems in those newsletters, my wins, my losses. You can grab your copy this week only, and I'm going to discount it so it's an irresistible offer. So instead of $5,000 or even $2,000, which I sold it for a year ago, it's $997. And that's like 10% of what each issue uses. 7 years of newsletters. And it comes in this massive binder. If you don't like the newsletters, you can ask for your money back, and you can keep the binder with the newsletters and use it as a doorstop. So go to blackhatletters.com. That's blackhatletters.com. And you can buy it for $997. So I'm giving you a $2,000 discount until this Friday at 6 p.m. And then I'm going to take it off the market. You can't buy it again for another year. But it's a really, really cool product. And I'll put a warranty and guarantee on it. So I'll put a 1-year warranty on it as an example. So if you buy the product for $997 now at blackhatletters.com, I'll give you a full year, 12-month guarantee. So at any time over the next year, you go through them, you read them, you can read a newsletter every week or every 2 weeks. There's 7 years of them. And just go through the stuff. And if it's not everything I say, if it doesn't make you the most referred, the most respected, and you know, the wealthiest or the richest in your particular business, then you can email Leanne anytime in the next 12 months and just ask for a refund. And I'll refund your $997 that day. And you can keep it. You can keep it as a doorstep, as goodwill. You can keep the 7 years of newsletters. You can keep the massive binder. You can keep the free trainings that come with it. I have 4 free trainings. I don't even know what they are. One's phone scripting, one's how to sell your business for maximum profit. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there that you can keep all the bonuses, trainings as well for free. So that's a pretty great warranty. If it's not everything I said it is, then you have 12 months to decide. blackhatletters.com. blackhatletters.com. And black hat means you play the villain in your industry, right? I wore the black hat in hockey. I wore the black hat in window washing. I wore the black hat in the insurance business. I wear the black hat in the coaching business. It just means you play the villain. You play the most talked about, most respected, most referred, and most criticized in your industry. You have all this free publicity because you're always the talk of the industry. You're always the talk of the town. In the insurance business, my critics did my marketing for me. In the hockey business, my critics filled my arena. In the window washing business, my jealous and envious critics did my advertising for me. That's the power of wearing the black hat, and that's what I talk about In these newsletters, I talk about my window washing, marketing and promotion. I talk about my real estate. I talk about my hockey team franchise. I talk about my experience in the insurance business. I talk about playing the role of the villain, wearing the black hat in all of these industries. And man, just one of those newsletters is worth that investment. $9.97 till this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then it's gone for another year. blackhatletters.com, or email Leanne. Reply to this email. You can reply to this email to buy the product. This email will go to Mark or Leanne. Just reply and say, change the subject line to Black Hat Letters. Black Hat Letters in the subject line, and they'll call you or text you and get it shipped. I FedEx these to you. They're monsters. They are ugly block monsters. It's one mangy dog, these Black Hat Letters. 7 years of my paper and ink newsletters in one binder. If you're interested in being the most referred, most talked about, most respected, the talk of the town, and driving your critics and your haters insane, absolutely insane, then you're going to enjoy these 7 years of newsletters. blackhatletters.com. That's it. Kick ass takes names. Kick ass and take names. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that can change your life. Be relentless.